order, please. Thank you. Rose, would you lead us in the pledge?
Certainly. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank everybody for coming this evening. We have not heard from Clifton, so we'll just continue until Clifton shows up. We'll hold off the minutes until Clifton shows up. We'll go from there. Public comments. Are there any public comments?
Only thing that I might have is the email that we all received.
Stephen?
Yes, when do we want, that's a public comment, or do we want to do that later as mail?
Either way. Want to do it now? Let's get it out of the way? Or we can
Sure,
do it now?
that's,
We received an email, a letter of sorts, addressed to the selectmen and the trustees of the trust funds from Stephanie Can-Marsh, PhD. I'll let you read it if you want.
I am writing about the Brookfield Scholastic Achievement Award. Last year at the town meeting, Rob Collins asked whether or not private school or homeschooled students are eligible for this award, or whether only Kingswood students are eligible to receive this taxpayer-funded scholarship. This is something that has been discussed in the homeschooling community for several years. I was approached as someone who might be able to work out ways to include homeschoolers in the selection process. I've been homeschooling my children for 20 years, have served on the board of New Hampshire Homeschooling Coalition for the last 15 years, coordinate the area support group of over 180 homeschooling families, and have sent 3 of my homeschooled children on to college. I have led many workshops for homeschoolers all over the state on writing transcripts and applying to college. It is not entirely clear what exactly are the requirements for the award. At town meeting, it sounded as if this award is based on grades received at Kingswood. I had a conversation with Ernie Brown some months ago about this. At first, we discussed academic qualifications. I explained that homeschoolers competing for the award would be comfortable supplying SAT and SAT-2 subject test scores, their own transcripts, and grades given in public schools or college classes and online or correspondence courses. We talked about the rigor of the course material the student might be working on. Is a high score in calculus more significant than a high score in something else? When Ernie told me that the emphasis was more on effort and the attitude of the student, then Ernie told me that the emphasis was more on effort and the attitude of the student. When I asked how this was judged, he said that he asked the Kingswood Guidance Department for their selection. I thought that perhaps privately schooled and homeschool students would submit letters of recommendation and evidence of employment and work on community projects. At this point, Ernie said that it wouldn't matter how privately schooled or homeschool students were compared to Kingswood students, because the intention is to give 2 separate awards, one to the public school student and one to the homeschool student. I do not believe that this was Rob's or any of the other homeschooled families' intentions. Furthermore, separate but equal has long been discredited in our society. Homeschooling parents and taxpayers want to have children included in the competition for the one Brookfield Award, which to us is quite an honor. I have since spoken with several of the homeschooling families in Brookfield, and none of them felt that homeschoolers should be given a separate award by the town. After all, our graduates go to the same colleges and compete for the same jobs as the Kingswood students. As the selectmen are now drawing up the town budget and deciding whether to include one or more awards, this issue needs to be resolved. I would like some clarification on what attributes are judged for the Brookfield Scholastic Achievement Award, whether the intention is to make 2 separate awards, and whether or not the committee which chooses the winner of the award would like input from experienced homeschoolers. Thank you for your attention. Stephanie Can-Marsh, PhD.
Any comments?
Who decides who gets the award?
Sounds like.
That was going to be my question.
I don't know.
I don't.
Kingswood,
They don't decide. It is, all the information is sent to the trustees of the trust funds, and the Scholastic Award is awarded by them.
And it's based on?
Highest grade point average
Okay. That was
for
my-
the Brookfield student.
That was my impression.
Senior,
But-
actually, yeah, the senior, for all 4 years. They look at all 4 years worth of Scholastic.
Yeah, but I thought that this had been talked about before, that homeschoolers were going to be included.
That was my understanding as well when I
Yeah.
got the letter and
Well, apparently Mr. Brown has come up with 2 awards, or mentions 2 awards.
I'm confused, and I have not had a chance to talk to Mr. Brown about that yet. But there are, I know that one year we gave out 2 awards because there was a donor who specifically donated a certain sum of money that year to be awarded to the student, the highest, the awarded student that year. So there were 2 awards that went to one student. And that was, it had to be used that year, that award did. So, but other than that, there's only 1 award that I'm aware of. We talked about having a first and second award, so there'd be 2 awards for the top 2 in Brookfield, and that kind of was shot down. And there should only be 1 award, and my understanding is all students, whether they go to Brewster Academy, Kingswood High School, or they're homeschooled, as long as they can prove that grade point average, and they submit those, that information to the Scholastic Awards Committee or the trust fund, the trustees of the trust funds, then they would be eligible for that award.
question?
Yeah.
Somewhere here it talks about privately schooled, or are the students, I don't think we have any, by the way, but the students that go to St. Thomas, for example, would they be eligible, since the award is given to the student, not to the school? Somewhere it mentioned separation of church and state or something like that, I don't remember what it was. So, since it's getting to the student, not to the religious institution, would they be eligible?
I have not seen anything that would disqualify them because of the type of school they go to, as long as it's an accredited school. So, if they go to St. Thomas,
No, it's in Dover, so I don't think anybody goes there.
well, if somebody was to go to a private school that is a accredited school, and the request by that student to have them submit their grade averages to the trustees of the trust funds,
So this is a religious school.
but they still have to get grades, right?
That's correct.
And they still have an accreditation, so the grade point average would then still need to be submitted to the trustee of the trust funds to be included in selection for that award.
Unless it only stated when this was started, you had to be a student.
Kingswood.
Kingswood.
And I don't know where that documentation, that's something we'll have to research. Yes,
I'm
sir.
familiar with homeschooling, but do they have a grade point average?
Mr. Nason's he's a,
He's an expert.
an expert at homeschooling and
I mean, do they have?
all of his children have been homeschooled.
Do they take a test to give them a grade point?
There's several different ways they do it. You can have an evaluation by a certified evaluator.
Yeah.
You don't get a grade point average. You can you can follow some curriculums which are sponsored by schools that will give you a grade point average. And then the third is you can do standardized testing, which it doesn't give you a grade point average. It gives you a percentile.
Is there something that would make it easy to compare these students in different schools as far as?
And that-
The SATs would, that's a national standard.
SAT.
Yeah, but not everybody takes the SATs.
Right.
But they would if they're going to college and are looking for a scholarship. Because you need one to get into school. Usually you need an SAT.
There are other tests that you can take now, instead of SATs, to get into school. So there's actually like 2 or 3 different types of testing now that you can take. And what happens if they're going into a trade school? You don't need SATs to get into trade schools.
Then that begs the question, who sets the policy for the award?
The town of Brookfield should have set the policy when it was written, and that would be something that we would need to request from the trustees of the trust funds or the Scholastic Awards Committee, however that's done. And the check is usually presented by the chairman of the trustee of the trust funds.
Yes, well, at one point, it was, they wanted the selectmen to do it, and I did it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, but it really should be from the trustees of the trust fund.
Right.
Now, was it required to be at Brewster for, not Brewster, I'm sorry, Kingswood for 4 years, all 4 years? I want to think at one point it was, you had to attend all 4 years. We don't know, we'll need to find that out.
I was told, I was told, I can't remember who it was, I think it was, Tom, when he was chairman, that even if they went to, like, even if they went to Brewster, because we have kids that can actually be scholarshiped to Brewster, that they would qualify as long as the grades were submitted to them for consideration.
So how do you want to move forward? I mean, it's not clear, right? She's asking for some guidance on how.
We'll have to get with the trustee of the trust funds and do some research on the Scholastic Fund and when it was created, to see if there are guidelines and rules set forth that dictate how that award is awarded.
Okay.
I'm glad you brought it up.
I thought the only requirement was that your parents are a resident of the town of Brookfield, and anybody can apply for it.
That was my understanding, but we have to see that original document to understand if and in what guidelines were set up when that award was set. And if we don't agree with those now, that would be something that we could put before the town to change.
I guess one more question, who's got that action item? Who's going to talk to the trustees?
Who wants to do it?
I'd like to nominate the chairman.
Yeah, I can do it. I'll be glad to do it.
You want to do it?
Sure.
All right, go ahead and run with it.
We have not approved the minutes.
Okay.
We're waiting for you to come.
I got here as fast as I could. I was actually pretty good today. So, have you done member comments or public comments yet?
Yes, we only had one.
That was that letter.
Okay.
Oh, we have another one.
I'd like to ask a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to know how we are proceeding with the welfare policy that our welfare officer was supposed to have worked on many months ago, if anything has been done on it, how it stands right now.
I have not followed up with the welfare officer at this point in time. But I will do so.
I think it's very important that we do have a policy.
We do have a policy, and we have guidelines that were set down that we follow through the local government center and the state RSAs. So we actually have a booklet, but we were looking to update it and put more, I don't want to say make it more stringent, but put more controls into it so that the system can't be abused easily.
I think that's kind of important that we do that.
Okay. Approval of minutes from October 9th, 2012.
I'd like to make a change. recommended change.
Okay.
And it's on page 2 under the deputy tax collector. It says any outstanding balance include 18% in interest. I think it'd be correct to say any outstanding balances include interest in penalty when the property is liened. In other words, strike the 18% and just say it includes interest and penalties.
But is that what was discussed?
Yeah, 18% was mentioned, but when the numbers were recorded, it includes interest and penalties.
Okay, but penalties are different than the 18% interest.
That's why I said strike the 18%.
Bill?
No, I think we need to get clarification, and I remember it discussed at one point it's 12%, I believe, and another time it's 18%.
It's 12%, after the taxes are due. It's 18% once it's been liened.
So, and it's liened after a year, right?
No, it's liened. The December bill for, say, the 2012, are liened around April, at the discretion of that year.
So if the tax bill goes out in December, say, December of 2012,
Yeah.
this coming December, and then any taxes that haven't been paid by April 1st would go to lien?
Approximately.
Okay.
I say approximately because that's the discretion of the tax collector when she holds her tax lien. I usually hold mine during the month of April.
And then once it goes to lien, it's 18%.
It's 18%.
So there's a small window of 4 to 5 months that it would be at 12%.
Correct.
I think we should have to say that.
Okay, and then the numbers also include penalties. I think
And
there's-
there are penalties, there are costs and fees added on to that.
that was the point I was trying to make.
And those are set by the state.
Costs and fees, plus costs and fees set by the state?
Okay.
Yes.
And that was discussed at last meeting.
Yes.
That's correct.
So
Right.
you gotta make sure, you know.
And the fee schedule is set by the Department of Revenue Administration through the
Okay.
state of New Hampshire. Those fees are to cover filing of the lien, postage for sending certified mail,
Right.
and an added cost for the actual paperwork that is done on it. And it is, as I say, it is, that is a fee schedule that comes from the state to all the tax collectors in the state of New Hampshire.
Okay.
Charge the same amount. We charge for the lien notice that goes out certified mail.
Right.
We charge for, that's to both the property owner and the mortgagees, or anyone who has a vested interest in the property. That charge, at that point, it goes on, once it is liened, then there is a fee for the execution of the lien and for search, title search done by the abstractor, plus notification. At
Okay.
that point,
So
the
all of these things that are extra cost are rolled up into the fees portion of it?
Correct.
Okay. Back to the minutes though. We can't include all that information in last month's, the last meeting's minutes because that was not discussed in that context. In order to make a change to these minutes, it has to be within the spirit of what was discussed, or it has to be what was discussed at that point. So you listen to the tape when you do these, or you just go off your notes?
Oh,
and-
no, I listen too. I do both.
Okay, so when this portion came up, do you recall what was discussed?
Not right now.
I thought it was we were only discuing the interest.
The 18%?
The
18% when the property
The
was
12 and then
liened.
the conversion to 18%.
I remember both talking first, it goes to 12, or it's first 12 and then going 18, but that was just.
Okay, so then what we would need
Nothing
to,
was said, I don't believe, about the fees.
Okay.
I can't really remember.
so then what we'd need to do is, it would change any outstanding balances, include an 18% interest when the property is lien would be to state that any past due monies would include 12% interest up to the point where it's lien, and then it would go to 18%. Because if we didn't discuss the additional fees, you
I don't
can't
believe
add that
we
in.
did. I mean, maybe we did, I didn't.
Well, I think
It's
that's
not
what,
jumping out at me.
that's when I was reporting on what the taxes were, how much taxes were owed.
Right,
And I stated that the numbers I was giving you included interest and penalties.
okay.
And then we had a discussion on what the interest rate was, and then we said before leaning 12%, after leaning 18%.
Yeah, that's where that came in. Okay.
So, Rosacker gave an update on outstanding tax due by residents, 2012, 54,000, 2011, 54,000, and 2010 was 13,000. And then it goes to state any outstanding balances include 18% in interest when the property is liened. So how do you,
Shouldn't it say include interest and penalties?
And just leave
And
18%
just
out.
leave the 18%?
How about included? Any outstanding, because you're talking about those from previous years, right?
right,
So any outstanding balances are included
interest and penalties?
Or includes.
or includes, that's it, was even better.
Okay,
Includes.
so let's put it down that way.
Interest
Oh,
and
includes doesn't sound right, because
Penalties.
that,
Included, it would be included, because it's past tense. Includes is present.
well, they still, okay, well, they still owe it though.
Isn't part of that a present tense amount?
Yeah.
These figures include.
Interest and penalties.
Okay, these figures include interest.
There you
and
go.
penalties.
make it
There's an
simple.
alternative to this, you could put this off till next meeting and have her review the tape.
Interest and penalties.
Are you comfortable with that? Okay. And then in this minutes for this meeting, we will include, for clarification, the conversation with the deputy.
The discussion, and the discussion I'll do.
With the tax collector and the deputy tax collector in regards to how the fees and penalties are charged in. Any other changes? Mr. Nelson?
No, I'm gonna make it, we have a motion as amended. You made a motion for the amendment, or did you?
I just recommend we make a change. Now I'll make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes as modified,
As amended?
as amended.
Okay.
Second it. All right.
Hearing a first and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Treasurer's report. She's gone.
She's needed to go home because of travel issues and being overtired and all that stuff.
Okay, so we have treasurer's report.
You left some behind, yeah, there you go, get them all.
Them all.
So these are the bills that need to be approved. Are there any checks in here? No. Okay. Treasurer's report as presented. The payroll quarterly reports have been filed with the IRS in the state of New Hampshire. We currently have in the bank the following money. Our checking account has $63,695.35. The savings account is $135,301.94 for a grand total of $198,997.29. It's nice not to be in debt as a town, isn't it? Number 3, okay, she is leaving the bills I currently have for the selectmen to approve. Please approve them and put them back in the box. I will write the checks and let you know when they are available to sign. Number 4, I have received notice from Diane that Rose Acker is finished with her probationary period and will now have her salary raised to the higher rate. Congratulations. Number Number 5, I've received a copy of the letter to the selectmen from Tom Jaguar regarding the annual transfers between the treasurers and the trust fund. I'm waiting for us to finish up the expenses on the Stoneham project, and then we will generate these checks, which at that point we will have to request monies to be transferred from the trust funds to the general account. So it goes both ways. Number 6, we have started receiving budget numbers from some town departments. I would ask if the selectmen receive budget numbers from departments that they be forwarded to me as well. This way, when we meet on November 20th, the spreadsheet will have as much information as we can. And I will say that I actually got, I believe, 2 via email this past week, and so I will forward those on to her. And the letter from Tom Jaguar, it says, "Good morning." It's dated October 18, 2012. Good morning. As voted by the residents of Brookfield at town meeting March 13, 2012, please transfer $81,750 to the trustees of the trust funds for investment. An itemized list is printed below. Warrant Article 2, the Scholastic Recognition Award Fund, $500. Warrant Article 3, Town Building Office Equipment Fund, $1,000. Warrant Article 4, Town Buildings and Ground Maintenance Fund, $5,000. Warrant Article 5, Road and Bridge Repair Capital Reserve Fund, $65,000. Warrant Article 7, Conservation Fund, $500. Warrant Article 8, Heritage Fund, $500. Warrant Article 11, Property Reevaluation Expendable Trust Fund, $8,000. And the Warrant Article 12, Town Cemetery Fund of $1,250. And again, that's for a grand total of $81,750. Residents also voted to withdraw funds for the following project. Unless otherwise instructed, these funds will be transferred to the town. Warrant Article 6, Major Road Repairs from Road and Bridge Capital Reserve Fund, $75,000. And we can only withdraw the exact amount of the cost of the project. So if the project comes in under budget, that's the amount that we withdraw from the fund. We don't withdraw the whole $75,000. Please don't hesitate to contact me should you need further information. Sincerely, Thomas Jaguar, Chair, Trustee of the Trust Funds, Brookfield, New Hampshire.
Thank you for your responding to him. I think you need to make a note of that. 75,000 is all they need now.
Right, but we won't know that until the final dollar values come in.
Right, I understand that.
And at that point, we will send the trustee of the trust funds a letter requesting those funds to be transferred to the town's
So
general
it sounds like
account.
he's automatically moving it, so I think was my concern. Unless I hear otherwise.
Unless otherwise instructed, these funds will be transferred to the town. All right, so I will contact Tom Jaguar and tell him not to transfer those until we actually have a final figure from the project, and then we'll request the funds to be transferred via a written letter. Mileage for Virginia for July. Mileage for Virginia for August.
I have no idea who this is. Since it says to the bank, I don't know who the person is.
It's probably Virginia for the mileage for September, since that's July, August, and that's for total mileage.
So I'm just putting this, she knows, well, there's 2 different figures here.
That would be for postage as well. That goes to the state. So I would say that this is for Virginia.
Did he actually put that, Rich, did he put that outlet in?
Yes, he did.
Okay. See, I looked the other day, I didn't see it.
Well, go take a look.
Not good.
I didn't see it either, so.
Yeah, we've got
But if Rich says he did it, he did.
$8, $7,
Oh, he has glasses on.
and how much is this?
But
Mileage would be $55.20, and then for postage, $3.65.
Okay, oh yeah, here's the bill.
And Bob Sonricker sends a bill for $2 $297.96 from Bob Sonricker Electric LLC for installing
It replaced that was
lights,
broken.
a GFI plug in the other side of the kitchenette area, so we have a plug on both sides and they're not stacking electrical appliances on top of each other, and fixing the noisy timer out front. This is from the New Hampshire Government Finance Officers Association for the GFOA GAFR New Edition. It's a 1,100-page book on the latest government accounting rules for $20 and shipping. It was too good to pass up. Please approve. Thanks for Mary Lou. So this is accounting rules. And Mary Lou is requesting that we purchase it. This is our monthly staple bills for supplies. And we currently owe $33.98. Our favorite electric bills. The electric bill for the townhouse and the town offices is $138.47. And the electric bill for the salt shed is $20.52. I must include that on the first one is also the garage out back. Our salt bill, $2,016.89, and that got us,
One load. Approximately 30 ton.
and it was $61.83 a ton.
Yep, and surprisingly, that's gone down.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's cheaper than last year.
Are you getting more salt, or is this it?
That's, yeah, I will get more salt, but kind of juggle it as we.
Holding up.
Are we during the winter, or
No, it'll be this fall.
Which one?
this
No,
year?
these just-
This year.
after we
Yeah, I'll
discuss
talk
them,
more
I guess.
about it.
This is a bill from Avatar Associates of New England. In regards to the house fire, Jessica's questions. Mailed 93 list letters for data verification. And the bill is for a total of $65.62.
It's good to talk to him. Keeps the price
You didn't
down.
sign this?
No, I will. I just.
Okay. You had to discuss property values, right, when we did that, because the property values changed once the house had a fire.
Yep.
So we just need clarification on,
And the hour to, what did they send? It took them an hour to do it?
it's a half hour for two different things.
No, going down from,
Yeah, but there's no bill for that, it's zero
oh, okay.
amount.
So what's this?
Balance forward, that's the two, that math doesn't add up, does it? Half hour at $32.81 for $164.09, or $164.06. A half hour at $32.81 for $196.87. Anybody got a calculator?
Are they carrying the total forward?
That's what I was wondering now. So it's
Yeah,
not-
don't
Is
show
that
it.
a- is
Oh,
a
yeah,
running-
that is.
Is that a running total?
Down
Yeah, that is a
forward.
running total, okay. I'm gonna say that doesn't, so it's a running total, 131.25 balance forwarded, then you add the 32.81, then another 32.81, for a total due, we made a payment of 131.25, which was the outstanding balance, so we now have a current balance of 65.62.
Okay, so where they have the one,
It's a
zero,
zero amount.
so this amount they're
Carried
carrying
down.
down. That explains it. Thank you. There was a number next to the,
Did we make any changes in that assessed value?
I don't believe so. I have to look it up, because they said it's gonna, we're in between, normally you set it up for pickup,
Yep.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it'll all,
Yes, yes.
yeah, it'll all work out.
Oh, we just didn't talk about it if we did.
Maybe. This was like 2 months ago. Can't expect me now.
Chewing up some blades. What were they cutting? Pavement?
Yeah, the end of people's driveways.
Okay. So what is it that
No,
you're?
no, that was the only one, I could figure out what the blades were. I wanted to see if somebody else asked the same question.
Yeah, no, that's, when I read it, I figured that's what he was doing with it. So these are all supplies for the work up on there.
Didn't have a problem, I just waited to
Okay.
see if same people had the same question, and they did. Or one of them did. So it's me.
This is a bill for Long Meadow Farm and Home Supply. It's for $1,856.55, and it encompasses a 15-inch culvert, 20 footers, and there's 4 of them. There's 2 18-inch 20-foot culverts, hay mulch for bedding, which is used along the roadside. A 15-inch culvert, 20 foot, so we had another 15-inch.
Yeah, we found an extra one.
Okay. And then a respirator with comfort valve, and that was so he wasn't breathing concrete dust, I take it? Or asphalt dust? Power mix, hardwood stakes, the rental of a cutoff saw, and diamond blades to fit the cutoff saw, so they could cut the lines between the driveways when they tore up the pavement and went from there. I have a bill from the road agent for $2,331.50. And on 1016 Great Tumble Down Dick Road, Greater Small Backhoe, the account numbers, what are these? Is that the different accounts that these go into?
No, they're all in that one account number.
Read
Look at it,
down,
it's
read down,
it's one
read down.
account number.
4312.361.
Oh, that's the
Oh, the
account
number going, I thought it was.
He wrote it
hours.
vertical instead of
I tried to
horizontal.
get it as an amount, but
Oh.
I didn't think he'd pay it.
That's what, I would have never thought of an accountant.
So it's vertical instead of horizontal.
Alright.
I got
Yeah, rather
you.
than write it out for each line, I just wrote, they're all for the same
All
category.
right, that's what good going. Good going, Rich. You figured it out. That
He was reading sideways. I saw him turn his head. Anything else from the treasurer?
Just these,
And these are our
updated.
updated town budget numbers as of September 30th. Let me get to the bottom line here.
I do need to bring to everybody's attention line 4191 4199.
4191
What page is that on?
100.
That would help, 4 or 6.
Thank you.
The planning board's salary, which it is a proposed budget of $5,040. Year-to-date, actual spent, $4,739, with a balance left
I
of
thought
$301.
the last check we signed had that up over 5,000.
No, it was close. But the proposed budget for the planning board is $6,478. They've spent $4,888, and they have a balance of $1,590 in their budget here for the rest of
I
this
think the
year.
problem is it's September.
Right,
30th.
we
So
don't
we
know where
made
the
it-
October's is
Right, so
yet.
the October one put it over.
Could be.
Based upon the W-2 that was attached to that check.
So, and the planning board is aware of it. I did address it with them at the last meeting. And they have to figure out how they're gonna do it. So, to the bottom line, our proposed budget for 2012 was $766,936. As of September 30th, 2012, we have spent $416,000. $3,275,075, and we have a budget balance of $350,861. We have 46% of our budget left.
How does that number, I just don't know, how does that number true up with what you just told us?
Those numbers, oh, you mean with these checking account numbers?
This is our checking and savings, and that's
Right.
one number, and this is a different number.
This is income. That comes out of,
This is balance.
no, that's income. We get income on a daily basis, or
Okay.
on a monthly basis. We don't have December's income yet in here.
I just don't
And-
understand.
And how much is gonna say?
We currently have the following in the bank.
Right.
That's that number. And this says, and I just don't understand, this number says we have 33,000.
350,861, no, that's left to be spent on our budget.
A proposed budget.
Those
All
are,
right.
that is expenditures that we still have, that we're still looking at, that we proposed for the year. Doesn't mean we're gonna spend it all, but
And
We
how much,
proposed
how much are we taking out of for the trustees of the trust fund?
the trustees of the trust funds are gonna remove $81,750 of that. So, that'll reduce that, that'll increase the actual, it'll decrease our balance when that is done. And then what'll happen is once we submit the road budget for the project over to the trustees of the trust funds, that'll be transferred to our general fund, and that'll go back into the bank account, which will be our revenues. On the first page of the budget, I was wrong. Second page of our budget, we have it's not right. Oh, it is right, because we only were gonna do 60,000. We have a proposed revenue stream of $240,930 coming in through property taxes, land use change tax, penalties, interest, motor vehicle permits, dog licenses, landfill permits, and that's a projected income that we project that we will receive, which excludes property tax monies. Because if you look at our 2012 actual, we have received $1,118,100 year-to-date. And of course, a portion of that went to pay for the state tax, a portion of that went to pay for the county tax, the school tax. That's all included in there, that we don't include in our line item budget. So at this point, we're pretty healthy. We still have $350,000, we're $350,000 under budget. Take away the $87,500, so you're looking at 260, give or take. We're under budget so far at the end of September. So that leaves at least 3 months to spend, and I don't think, depending on what, I gotta look at the school stuff is.
Yeah, do we have any school bills?
Yeah, but that's not included in our line item budget.
And I've noticed, I've heard rumors that Mr. Mason's been doing the snow dance. So.
He's got the
Not
whole,
yet.
he's got the whole crew up there snow dancing.
Let me be clear. That is not true.
Should we fact check that?
Okay. I'll let everybody know.
All right, we're done with the treasurer's report. Any questions or concerns with the budget? Anything that anybody's interested in the budget that they want to know the actual numbers to?
What is the big planning board expense, salary of the secretary?
Yes.
Okay.
And when they have things like extra meetings and that aren't planned for, that's gonna throw their salary into a tizzy. And what I told them at the last meeting was, and talked to the chairman, was is when they set the next year's budget, they need to look at the salary, they need to look at extra meetings that they're not aware of, and they have to plan for those. They can't just plan on one meeting a month, 4 hours a month for him, and that's how they calculate it, because if he's gotta come in and do extra work, or they have a special meeting, then that's gonna throw their budget off, and they need to be more accurate in their budget. But they still have over $1,500 in their overall budget. So, they're gonna be close this year. Tax collector,
Wondering how we're doing as far as setting the tax rate. Like, do we have any projection, any plans?
as soon as DRA tells us, we'll do it.
We've got some issues.
Can we push them?
Well, we've got the action item. We have some issues between our MS2 and our MS5. And until we can get those resolved, Mary Lou is working on that. Until we can get those resolved, they don't want to meet with us.
Do we know what the issues are?
The numbers just don't agree between what was submitted earlier in this year and what was submitted in September. That's all I know.
All right, I'll give her a call.
Mary
Since
Lou.
she was away, I didn't think that gave her an opportunity to work.
She talked to the state. I think she understands what the issues are. She just told me that tonight. The issues are those two documents don't agree, and she's got to bring them into closure. Virginia generated one, we generated the other.
Virginia generates.
The one after the town meeting. That's what I think I understood her to say.
Okay.
So that's what's holding it up. They can't set it until we get closure on those two documents.
What's your deadline, Diane, for your,
What is my deadline?
to have this
I
information?
have no deadline. As sooner that we have the tax rate, the sooner the bills will be printed, the sooner they'll go out.
But I assume you want to have the taxes paid before the end of the year?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I want to, yes.
Merry
Is it
Christmas.
imperative? It makes a big mess for the whole year if it's not, let's put it that way, bookkeeping wise.
And then you have to get the tax
The
bills
state-
out.
The tax bills went out in November last year, right? And the majority of the money comes in December.
Correct. The state, of course, ideally wants you to have them so that they're due December 1st, which means they have to be out November 1st.
We didn't do that,
Which has
though.
never, ever happened in this town.
We did
Or
them
in the
on,
majority of the small towns. The large cities, yes, it does happen in the large cities. In the smaller towns,
we were sending them out on the 30th and having them due by the 30th, right?
if we have to, yes. The sooner they go out, the sooner the money comes in.
We haven't seen the county rate yet, have we?
Yes.
We have?
Yes.
Oh, for next year.
They go
Yes.
way up.
Mary Lou has it. I gave it to her.
Did
It's
she
the last-
faint? Did she faint dead away when you gave it to her?
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't.
Maybe, or was that the state?
The state
We got
went-
one of them.
The
It's
state
the
went,
state
the state went down
education.
2
State
cents.
went
Right, the
down,
state-
but the
that's the one we
projection
got.
was that we're gonna be,
Oh, I haven't seen,
It was
then we haven't
county
seen the
this
counties
year.
yet.
because of the completion of the home.
Right.
This is the year that we're gonna get it, but, basically, the earlier they can go out, the earlier they come in. I'm hoping that we have the newsletter ready ahead of time this year, this particular time, so that we can have those all ready to go, and then just add the bills to it. Rose will be working with me on
Oh, I get to stuff envelopes again?
well, more to get the bills printed. Stuffing envelopes.
If you have the opportunity to visit the new nursing home, it's worth your while to make a visit. It's a beautiful, just worth your visit.
I'm gonna wait till I go there for free.
Dick's smiling.
Then I'm gonna be so surprised and happy.
All right. Administrative assistant?
No, the only thing I had, which was not really anything to do with that, is I wanted to ask you about the Parks and Rec Committee.
Okay.
I wanted to see if we can, I'd like to head it or at least be involved so we can get something moving for a playground.
Sounds good. Let me get to that and we'll
Okay.
do that here in a minute.
But otherwise than that, I don't have any.
Assessor clerk.
No.
Okay. Agricultural Commission. Anybody attend the last one? All right, I don't have anything from them. Cable Commission. Cable Committee. Anything on that, Bill?
No, they're not part of the meeting. No.
Okay. Cemetery of the Trustees not here. Code Enforcement Officer.
I have a inspection scheduled on Friday for 75 Lyford Road, just as an update with what's going on there. They've asked for a mechanical inspection, which means rough plumbing, rough electric, and all that. So I was encouraged that he called. I think, they're moving right along, surprisingly. So I have that to do. We have one new permit for a garage/storage building on map 19, lot 1. And other than that, the code office is quiet. There was a call to investigate some, I guess you'd call it illegal dumping in a sand pit off of Governor's Road, building material and whatnot. I went in, called them, told them I'd like to go in and look, and told them what was up, and they said, oh yeah, go ahead, take a look. What it was is they tore down the house right off the corner there, and they picked out a few, I say a few, they picked out quite a few large wooden beams from the house instead of throwing them away, and they're gonna cut them up and burn them in their stove. So there's nothing, there's no shingles, there's no inorganic stuff. It's
So that'd be
just-
like recycling.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was the answer to that complaint, or that concern.
Okay.
As far as the roads, we patrolled today to see what roads needed to be graded before the road started to freeze. As you saw in the last bill, we graded Tumble Down, and we spot graded Lyford back on the, I can't remember the date, but it's on the bill. But Lyford, which we will do tomorrow, we will give it a regular grading tomorrow. And that should take care of it for the fall. And that's the only one that needs anything to prep for winter. Salt came in, you saw that. I have tentatively set up with, to have sand delivered next Wednesday to start mixing and filling the shed. And the project, the pavement went great, everything came out great up there. The only thing I have left to do is back up the pavement with crushed gravel, which we will start on Monday. Other than that, I think we're
How did Tumble Down hold up with that mix? That
excellent. It works really well.
So, not a lot of potholes
No,
compared
not-
to
not
the
up
past?
hill. Not a lot of the washboard was what you get when cars go up. A lot of people think it's heavy trucks. It's the cars that do it, the light vehicles.
Yeah, 'cause they
go
skip
up and
across.
they start spinning, and it's held up great.
Okay.
And that's why, a while back, I asked permission to stockpile some of that, and we did. We got 200 yards of it down at the shed down there. So we've been using it. We actually put some, if you drive out Tumble Down, the first hill you come to, it's shorter, but it's a little bit steeper. We put some on that this summer, and it's been holding up great.
You put it on and then roll it in?
Well, we track it in with the truck and lay it out with the grader, and I don't have a compactor and a roller for that. So when we start next week, as soon as the pavement is backed up, the new pavement is backed up, we will probably go out throughout town and see when anything else that needs to be backed up before winter.
Okay.
Other than that, I think we're doing good. That's it. Any questions, concerns?
Hearing none?
Good.
Thank you. Conservation Commission? Emergency Management?
Reminder that we have a meeting coming up on the calendar with us with the hazard mitigation plan, or well, maybe it's the 6th,
No, it's the 30th, next Tuesday,
next Tuesday. okay,
at 6
30th.
o'clock.
At 6 PM
Yes.
for hazard mitigation. All right, so October 30th at 6 PM, hazard mitigation meeting here at the town offices. Forest Fire Warden, Deputy Warden,
Nothing to report.
anything from the Governor Wentworth School District?
There's one thing that was in the newspaper that Middleton is considering joining the school district, Governor Wentworth. Again, it's totally exploratory at this point. This was something in the newspaper. And they're looking at their options, and that's one that's...
Does that mean New Durham's gonna pull out and go down to Farmington then instead?
I'm not sure that they would, yeah, it's just talking about it. It's certainly nothing for certain, but it was a newspaper article.
Okay. Oh, can I have that report back?
Yep, that was ready for you.
The Heritage Commission, I've goofed up. All right, Heritage Commission. Mary Lou left me a written report. The Heritage Commission, 1, the Heritage Commission thanks Selectman Zacher for his suggestions on the questions for the use of the 1801 Churchill Schoolhouse. The Heritage Commission is moving their next meeting to November 1st and will finalize the questions at that meeting. The Heritage Commission will be sponsoring a potluck dinner and invite all townspeople to attend Saturday, November 10th, 2012, in honor of Veterans Day the following day. Please bring a dish to share with your friends and neighbors. The Heritage Commission will ask for donations. I believe the dinner will start at 5 PM, but please look for posters around town and check the website for exact time. As soon as we finalize it, we will ask that it be posted to the website. And the report. All right. The next Joint Loss Management Quarterly Meeting is December the 11th at 2012 at 6 PM. Planning Board has not met since the last meeting. Website statistic quarterly update will be January 8th, 2013. Other boards and committees, the Parks and Rec Committee. So you would like to get involved in that?
I would.
October 19th, 2012, I guess this is the Board of Selectmen, dear Selectmen. I would like to head the Park and Rec Committee and attempt to start planning on a playground for the town of Brookfield. Please discuss and let me know what you think. Sincerely, Jessica Robichaud. I think that would be awesome.
I think we need to do something.
I would love to see it get revitalized. Maybe you'll have better luck than we did in getting people mobilized. We thought people with children would jump at the chance to come and help us do this. We had a great beginning, and then it kind of petered off, and a couple of fundraisers here and there over the last couple of years. But I'm all for making Jessica the chair of the Park and Rec Committee.
I have a question for her when she's a chair. Maybe we should make her the chair.
We have to make her the chair first.
Okay.
So I would make a motion that we make Jessica Robichaud the chairman, or chairperson, politically correct, of Park and Recreation Committee.
Who's the chair today?
Yeah.
Him.
I'm the chair of one.
Okay. Then we're okay.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Now you may ask the chairperson of the Park and Rec Committee your question.
I was wondering if, I know you're talking about a playground, but given the age of our residents and everything, I'm wondering if we should also make something for the adults. It could be basketball, pickleball, Anybody play pickleball?
Shuffleboard.
Bocce?
Bocce
No, I'm
ball.
talking pickleball. I never saw it till this
Horseshoes.
summer when I went down to New Jersey. My brother says it's very big in Manchester, and it's basically a simplified tennis using a wiffle ball, but it's very popular. So I realize we're doing a thing for the kids,
Well,
but
I
if
had thought
that,
about the basketball
Let's
thing
try that out.
also. It's gonna take a lot of time,
Mhm.
because, you know, I was even browsing prices and stuff. It's very expensive. I mean, stuff that you want to last.
There are grant monies
Yeah.
available
Yeah.
to work with from the state park and rec people to help us purchase equipment at the point that we have enough money to do so.
the playground doesn't specify the age, correct? So it'll be a playground for older folks.
Yeah, I don't,
Well, it's park and rec committee, so
That works.
the idea was,
chairs, you know.
the idea was to make a park setting, kind of like a park setting, maybe next door here on property that we only own, and you can make a little trail system through there. Take these memorial benches
that's what I was thinking.
and set them within that trail system with maybe like a gazebo with a picnic table to sit on or to relax on, and then a playground kind of tucked off to the side. That was the original thought process
Sounds like you're getting a volunteer to work with you.
behind it. Oh, I will definitely stay on the Park and Rec Committee if I've got more than one person showing up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think it's important that we need to start looking at
But I
this,
think
but,
that really an indoor tennis court.
I agree with
Why
that.
not go big?
That's right.
but I had a question on the budget, like, you know how we raise so much money? Do you have to do a warrant article or something to expend, you know, like, to, yeah? Do you have to do that for March, is my question?
The thing would be,
Petition.
The selectmen
no,
have
the selectmen could put the warrant on, because what we put the warrant to put the money into the trust fund, or into a trust fund so it would earn interest
Okay.
from the previous donations. And then it kind of got mixed up with town money that went into a park and rec fund, and now it's being separated back out, so there'll be the donation money and the town portion of the money. And those go into a trust fund. But the question is whether or not that park and rec donation fund should be an expendable trust, or I have to look and see how we wrote that.
Okay. I just don't want to miss this, you know, March
Well, but she even-
opportunity if we
if
had to wait until
if the
March.
selectmen was
To
made-
spend money?
To spend the money, do you have to ask the people if it's okay to actually pull it out and expend?
I would have to look and see
That's-
how
yeah.
it was written to go in.
Okay,
If it goes into the regular trust funds, the capital reserve funds, then yes, it has to go to March meeting for vote. If it was put in as an expendable trust, then the select board has the authority to expend those
Okay.
funds.
all right, yeah, so if you can find out, or, I don't know if it's just an email to Mary Lou, or to.
Okay, but the Park and Rec Committee does have a small budget in order to operate.
Okay,
If I remember right, it was a $500 budget.
Can't operate much.
Well, again, at that point, we were just looking to raise money to get, I mean, the playground itself is gonna take about, you're looking at playground equipment that is going to be safe and not kill us on the insurances. You're looking at $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 worth of playground equipment.
that's right.
It's not a lot, I mean, it's, yeah, Park and Rec, we didn't actually budget for it this year because it wasn't enacted.
Yeah, it's not, so
So
let's
we
get
would
it
have
going.
to, we'd have to look at that at the next year's budget to add a little bit of money in there for postage and
Well, I guess it's a
things
good
like
time
that.
to do all that, because then we can put it, you
Right.
know, because we're doing the budget, so.
It's my understanding that the stall came at the discussion of where does it get located. That's what it started.
And part of that was we supposedly were gonna get some land donated to us, and then when we looked at the land, it wasn't going to be as usable land because of wetlands and stuff around it. So then, right, we were looking to where we could put it, and then the idea came up next door, but we had all the stuff behind us where was parking going to be allowed. because of the town buildings and all the town equipment that was back there, but that pretty much has been all gone, and it's been moved down to the new town shed at the other end. So we could revitalize that. Like I said, the town already owns all that land in there behind us. It's not a lot of land, but it would, you'd have a nice little walking trail in there, that kind of thing. It's big enough for what we were looking to do, as long as we keep it away from the well and we don't infringe upon those aspects of it.
Would there be any handicapped accessible provisions?
Sure, the trail would be wide enough for wheelchairs.
Well, I mean, even for the playground equipment. I mean, I don't know what the ADA
Well,
rules
what you
are
do
for
is
that.
you, when you find out your equipment who you wanna go with, you sit with somebody and you design it with them.
Okay.
And I'm sure that they know everything about anything handicapped, anything like that, but it actually, we have to sit with them and they do everything, so,
Question,
yeah.
is there any way of connecting this with the cemetery commission to get one big piece of property that you have half of it is cemetery and the other half is a...
So we can scare the living bejesus out of the children as they're
I mean,
playing
yeah.
next door to where
You
they're
may
gonna lay
find
to
a-
rest at the end of their life?
If the
Have a
cemetery-
Halloween party.
If the Conservation Commission is after, the cemetery is after land to use for a cemetery, there may be bigger fish out there, and you can get, more land and put the, something right next to it. That might be, it's worth thinking about.
And part of the idea for this is I know there are certain contractors out here in the area that's already agreed to donate time and equipment to help us do some of the work that we need to do to
I'd
either
already
clear land
planned on knocking on people's doors, so don't worry.
and things like that.
Yeah,
And getting the Boy Scouts involved, it would be a great Eagle project because they have to help plan and raise funds and then oversee the project to its end.
yeah.
So, that was another resource that we were
Even if
looking
we
at.
start off small, like we were talking about,
Yep.
I think it'd be a great thing. Okay.
All right.
Got a comment, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I hate to throw water on this.
What's
Did
that?
anybody ever look to see how much the town's liability insurance? would
We
be?
did it one time, but that was a couple of years back.
Is it
Um,
a big
it-
expense or?
No.
Okay. I can
You
just
post,
picture some kids falling
most
off the
playgrounds have a waiver of, or a disclaimer
swing. Yeah.
on them that, there's no lifeguard or no supervision on this playground. You're using the equipment at your own risk. The only liabilities come that if it's neglected and it's not maintained or kept up, that we would have issues with dilapidated equipment and somebody getting hurt. And that's where the Park and Rec Committee would have to be part of maintaining, or figuring out how they're gonna maintain that equipment. It's not just let's build it and they will come, it's let's build it, they will come, then we have to maintain it and keep the trails, walkable and the, the materials and the equipment in there usable. So, okay, any other questions about the Park and Rec before we move on? Hearing none, old business, application for use of municipal building.
Was that to do with the fair next door, the Christmas fair?
Well.
We were gonna look at
You were gonna revisit it, right?
Okay.
The application?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have one, a copy of it? I did not bring one with me. Sorry.
I have a comment while you're looking for that.
Does it deal with the application of use?
It has to do with the building.
Okay.
Somebody, now that heating season is upon us, somebody might want to go through and close those storm windows. I see them all at different levels.
Good idea.
I don't have a key, otherwise I'd do it.
I'll do it after the meeting, remind me, I'll go in there and do it.
I think the question was, what were we billing somebody to utilize the facility?
And was it for profit and all that stuff?
Well, it's not. All the money goes to the Scholastic. For the craft fair. What you rent a table for $25, all that money gets.
This is a
donated.
temporary event permit.
That's
This
not
isn't
it?
No. This is the temper. When I saw $1 million
Yeah, I know.
certificate of insurance, I was like,
But
wow, that's a little
That's-
expensive to just have a craft fair.
if the money goes to the Scholastic Fund, and the people are making money at doing it, it would be no different than anybody in here starting a,
That's a for-profit event.
The people that have the tables make money for themselves. The organizer who rents the space for $25 a table, I think she was talking about donating that money to the town,
The table rent,
the
yes.
table rent.
right. But does that
It's
make it
not a charitable
nonprofit?
event.
Pardon?
It's not a charitable event. It's a
No.
for-profit event.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
This is the craft fair, proceeds given to Brookfield Scholastic recognition.
Okay, but that's not the actual document of,
I'm not against the craft fair, I don't mean it that way, but we do have to be sure that realizing that it is for profit of the crafters.
Oh, no, the profit of the crafters go to the crafters.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's what I meant.
Yes, and then the $25 fee goes to the scholastic recognition.
I know we have, there's one in here. I have it in my box, but it's not. We're gonna recess for 5 minutes while we look for this.
We can talk.
You're on tape, so he's taping it.
Eddie, you smoke them if you got them.
Right.
Oh, no, you can't do that. Can't do that in here, can you?
Break it out to the shade. Don't leave them in the
Mr.
sun.
Comeau, do you have anything that you can, while we're waiting some time on the county commissioners' last meeting? I know you're big into that.
Well, I have it announced, but I think everybody should hear
Oh,
it.
okay.
There is no county commissioner meeting tomorrow. That's a good one announcement.
You have the day off.
We're gonna try to make one of these.
Yeah, thought I was making the last
I mean,
one.
we watched the tapes, and maybe we should go to one of these. That's
I
the-
watched the tape of this last meeting and I realized all the things you do, how many times you scratch your head.
Oh, this? Yes,
Oh.
yes, yes.
Oh, I've been trying to be better.
Sit up.
I said, whoa, that was an eye-opener. Thank you for
Maybe
taping
this
it.
question is for Ed. Has there always been just 3 county commissioners?
No.
It's such a huge county.
Well, when the population was really low, I believe it was only 2.
Really?
I believe Wakefield just found a old tax book from 1874, I think it was, and there was only 2 selectmen back then.
Because I was always under the impression there were 5
We saw that.
county commissioners. There
The
were
old tax book. that-
3, huh?
Yep.
I don't know how they can, and they're supposed to really do the business of the county.
Well, they're responsible for,
The prison and the county, the sheriff's office and the county home. That seems like a small number of people.
well, back in the day, it was just a poorhouse, I believe.
I used to live right next to a poorhouse.
I thought you was
A
gonna say.
poor
you was
farm,
living-
I'm sorry, poor farm.
I used to live in one.
It was a great, it was a great experience.
Now, the state constitution doesn't say that you have to have a poorhouse or you have to have a nursing home. You do have to have the courthouse and sheriff's department. Everything else has just been tacked on over the years.
But does the county commissioners have anything to do with the courthouse? Isn't that controlled by the state?
Yes.
Well, they're in control of the assets
Oh,
of the
okay,
county.
not the operation.
Well, we have, let's see, who runs the courthouse? I don't know. That's a good question.
I found the 2 things I thought it was. Didn't work. Okay, that's fine.
Give a campaign speech if you want.
Not appropriate in this
Not
budget.
for the voting booth.
Oh, everybody's, oh, well, yeah, it's a voting booth.
Well, not in front of the handicapped voting booth.
For sure. I don't think you have to do a speech for any of us here.
Sister's husband just passed away, and your home's from what, old papers? And the original house that he
Okay,
was
it's on
at.
the, yeah, okay.
I've got it right here in front of me, he's got it.
The house
Get ready.
had about 13 acres.
Just wait.
at the time. They ran across the school tax in 1952.
Can't rush ahead, Jessica saw that.
$87
Scout.
school taxes for the year.
Putting down, he remembers the letter to the scout.
Sister.
Yeah, we got a letter, we have to talk about
Lives
this.
in the house now.
Opening the mail late
And his
is maybe
school
not the
tax is
best.
now $5,000
Oh,
a year.
sure.
That's just the school tax.
Check that letter right there.
Property tax.
And this
Oh, I'm
is,
surprised I didn't put
What,
that on,
what state is this?
It's in New York.
Old business.
Maybe that's the wrong one, the other one.
Well, the county is very strong, county government is very strong in New York.
The county, the town, the village.
Opening our mail late.
But the
That's the one that's
county sheriffs have a lot
conflict for us.
of authority
That's the same one.
in New York.
So I retyped it.
Here, there.
Oh, I don't have that.
mutilation.
Yeah, I don't have that.
There, actually, state police and top dog.
Yeah, we had it here.
And a lot of the old.
It's in the little
Whether it be a town or a city, it had one.
file stack on the corner over here.
Oh, okay.
Where the special use permits. All right, we'll we will reconvene. Application for the use of municipal buildings. The Town of Brookfield's Old Townhouse Utilization Policies. Local nonprofit organizations not charging admission, there is no fee for that. A one-time event is a $50 fee. And using the townhouse on a regular basis, like if you're gonna have a monthly meeting there every month, we were charging them $20 for reoccurring meetings per use. You make billing arrangements with the select person. If more than 25 people are attending a function in the old townhouse, the Wakefield Police Department must be notified. And we have the police department's number there. And the policy was approved by the selectmen August 8th of 2006. No liquor may be consumed on town-owned property. No smoking is allowed in the building. Town administrator assistant will keep a calendar of scheduled event and is the coordinator for this facility. We have a person on call to, once we notify them of a date, that will unlock the building and then check the building to make sure that it was left in a clean and orderly fashion and that there's no damage, and then relock the building after the event. And it just states, the applicant is responsible for ensuring that the following is taken care of before leaving the old townhouse. All windows are closed and locked, all rooms are left clean, including kitchen and bathrooms. Leave bathroom doors open, trash should be bagged and removed, do not leave food in the refrigerator. All tables and chairs used must be put away. Tables and chairs belong to the town of Brookfield and are not to leave the old townhouse without the permission of the selectmen. Thermostats,
read that last part?
tables and chairs belonging to the town of Brookfield. Tables and chairs belong to the town of Brookfield and are not to leave the old townhouse without the permission of the
I don't
selectmen.
think that's accurate, I don't think they can go out, period. Because then you start lending them out to different, I think the original thing, again, I was on probably while this was.
I think the thing that came up with was if we were doing a town-sponsored function,
Oh.
and we wanted to utilize the chairs and the tables for a town function, like if the Conservation Commission was holding a get-together for the townspeople to promote conservation, but they were gonna set it up out in a field somewhere. So, because it dealt with nature, and then they would request to utilize chairs and tables to do that, or just chairs to set it up. That's the kind of thought process it is that committees and commissions could not remove those items from the townhouse to be utilized without notifying the Board of Selectmen. Thermostats, please reset to the original seasonal temperature settings. Turn off all lights. Outdoor lights may be left on a timer setting. Close and lock all outside doors. Says return the key to the selectman's office the next working day, but I think that we've changed that. We just never updated it because we have somebody who's assigned a key to open and lock the townhouse now.
So we should change that.
We're gonna have to. Note, any damages to the property during the use of the old townhouse shall be reported to the town administrative assistant and paid for by the user. Note, all requests for the use are subject to the selectman's approval. The conversation was, who do we allow to utilize the town office building and who don't we allow? And if I remember the conversation right, and I do believe it was you, me, and Ernie that were on the board at the time. August 6th, 2006, yeah, it would have been the three of us. That we weren't limiting the townhouse use to anybody unless it was for promoting hate and that kind, if it wasn't within the moral character of the town, then we would make the determination, and that's why it was left up to the approval of the selectmen of who we would allow and who we wouldn't allow to utilize it. But the question came up, well, if we allow the Republican Party to use it, then we have to allow the Democrat Party to use it. And if we don't, and if they're making money, do we only allow nonprofits and townspeople to use it where there's no money charged? But even public, the Republicans and the Democrats have fundraisers, so they're raising money. So that's why we just decided not to restrict that aspect of it. And because we've had other people, we had, whose wife was that? For years, she had exercise classes over there.
It was,
Yeah,
Dan
that was
O'Neill's.
Dan O'Neill's wife.
Yeah.
Had exercise classes in there and charged a fee to do it. And we've had historically, we've had the craft fair there every year, and they are a for-profit, but
Homeschoolers activities.
homeschoolers activities can utilize
There's
it.
no charge.
And there was no charge, we decided there would be no charge for that.
Yeah.
So it's been utilized over the many years for a variety of things. And it was very selective on who actually got to use it back then, and we opened it up to all the townspeople and let them know that we now have this utilization policy in place. So we need to update at least the portion of it on the key. And if you guys want to revisit any of this policy, then let me know. And we will revisit or make changes as the board agrees.
Are we gonna update this or not?
Yeah, we need to, because we no longer just issue a key to everybody.
I agree. So how
So,
do we do that? We do it now?
no, we need to study it.
no, we'll need to take a look at it, make your recommendations, and at the next selectmen's meeting, we'll revisit this. And if we're in agreement, then we will take a vote, and we will update it at that meeting.
And what about the fees for this Christmas fair? That's what Story Roll is.
And what did you say that you were charging them?
We're not, because all the money, they're charging the people $25 per table.
Okay.
All the proceeds go to the Brookfield Scholastic Award.
So
we
it's a
don't
fundraise,
charge-
it's kind of a fundraiser / profit-making event for people.
Yeah,
So we're not charging, I don't think we've ever charged them.
we've never.
Sounds like we'll get more than $50 if we get $25 a table.
Oh, we get more than that,
Yeah.
sure we do.
So it's-
It's like 14, let's say 14 crafters I see on one of them, times 25,
So
So-
I would say we don't charge them and
Right?
continue to allow them
Yeah.
to raise money for the Scholastic Fund.
Yeah.
And give the townspeople a place to go and shop for their crafts. Yes,
I think does our liability insurance cover the town if they're,
Yes.
if you're doing it for money?
yes.
I think
Okay.
one of the issues became, at least from things I've heard from people, as this is expanded for people outside the town coming in. So I think when it was first, early on, it was everybody from Brookfield could do it, right? Helping your own residents in a sense. But as time moved on, we got people from our neighboring towns. Not opposed to having it or for them using it or anything, but that, it branched out from its original Brookfield crafters to neighboring town crafters.
I think but I think there's been out-of-town crafters at that fair for quite a few years now.
I think the numbers have increased drastically, but anyway, I'm not opposed to it.
Well, and that was, I remember when we were discussing when we were gonna open up and try, the Agricultural Commission was going to open up the farmer's market here. And we had the farmer's market next door. To get enough people to be part of that, to promote agriculture within Brookfield, we were going to open it up to the surrounding towns to come in and buy a booth as well. Wolfboro, Wakefield, Ossipee, Union, all the surrounding areas could come in and rent a booth if they wanted to. And that lasted one season and then died, and I'm sorry that it did, yes.
2 seasons.
2 seasons, and then it kind of petered out and went by the wayside. And there was talk of trying to get it back up and running again, but we don't know. So we'll revisit this at the next meeting, so add this to the old business. Or continue it under old business, and then any suggestions or concerns have ready for the next meeting, and we'll deal with it at that point. Employee travel state guidelines.
Yes, we started talking about that 2 weeks ago. And subsequently, we found that we have guidelines.
We do?
Yeah. So here's a copy of our guidelines, and I think they're fine.
Ernest Brown, Clifton Camp, and Craig Evans.
I think they're super. So I
What's your
think,
date of birth?
for your information, these are our guidelines.
It was enacted the 12th day of 2008. That was 4 years ago. I'm not supposed to remember stuff from back then. Okay. All right, I don't have a problem with those.
I think they're fine. I'd like to suggest that we post them on our website. It's public information. We won't lose them again then.
Yeah, they should have been right there in that binder.
So, all right, so I want to go on a workshop that I need to stay overnight.
So you have to get that approved by the board.
So what is the board going to do? Are they just going to say, yes, you, and no, the other person, or are they going to have some criteria that they can? I'm happy with this, I don't have a problem, but you're going to come in and will somebody say, well, automatically, I want to stay overnight, at the, I don't know.
Justification for staying overnight.
Right.
You'll have to, I mean, we can ask for justification of why we should incur that expense as a town. In like the discussion we had with Jessica 2 weeks ago in regards to her travel to and from a 2-day event, it actually benefits us for her to stay overnight and not pay that other mileage, because the other mileage would have actually added up more than the room stay. So that's something that we would have to take into consideration when we are looking at a 2-day event.
Okay.
But if I'm just traveling up to do an event, and I want to spend that night and then come home the next day at my leisure, I'm
Okay,
sorry,
as long as
that's
we-
not what
we-
we're going,
we
I mean,
understand
I
the
would
ground rules,
agree to
that's fine.
that, yeah.
I don't problem.
I mean, if it becomes an issue, we can revisit these and move forward and add more to this policy to better define what we will and what we won't do, but,
Give us something, good.
okay?
Yeah, I mean, the key phrase, who in the course of their business obligations to the town incur.
Right.
So that should deal with issues.
If it's not business related, then we don't approve that first stay or the second stay.
Or whatever.
Right. Okay, so that can come off of the old business now.
Okay, and then you want to post it on the website?
Yep, let's post this on the
Okay.
website.
Probably not Jessica gonna do it.
Yeah, you can scan it, right?
Yeah,
So you get
I
the-
can scan it,
We get the
sure.
signatures, we get the dates,
Yeah.
everybody can see what the policy is. Maybe we want to do that with the townhouse also.
Yeah,
Oh, I
after
definitely- yeah,
after we've
that's-
revised
yeah.
it,
Okay.
when we revise it.
Yeah.
Election day, November 6th, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Why is that still on here? I thought we resolved this.
You were checking about coverage for the election day, I think it was why.
No, Rich and I are gonna cover it.
Okay, no, last I knew that you were checking with your employer. I didn't
Oh,
think it-
yeah, I was just I was going to request the day off and make sure that it got approved, which has been done. So, Rich and I will discuss and decide how we will divide and conquer that day.
That's fine.
Were you thinking about coming back, were you looking to be here at the end of the evening?
I was asked to help count.
You can't,
Pardon me?
you can't.
I was asked by the moderator to help count.
I think you can.
So I think
I couldn't.
you can't, that's right, but I can. So yes, I was.
I think one of it, okay, then one of us has to, I think one of us has to be an observer. And I think that's the that's why we have to be here, is one of us has to be here to observe, so. I wanna be here for the evening, that evening too, so it looks like we'll both be here at the close of the business. I don't think I've missed an election yet. Closing end of it.
Is it a big
So-
election?
Huh?
Is it a big election?
This one?
No, not at all.
Any new business?
Well, we have gone back to old business.
Old
The
business?
perambulation, we haven't heard anything on that?
I did, I gave a report.
Yes, I know that, but did he end up coming since our last meeting?
No, he hasn't emailed me back to say
Okay.
that there's still leaves on the trees, and he wanted to do it before the snow flew and after the leaves got off, so he could make it
That's good.
easier, so. I did tell him by the end of this year, we needed to have this wrapped up. So, hopefully that'll be done.
I believe I put it on the agenda for November, the end of November, to
Right.
follow up.
I think
Because I know
that's-
you said the end of October, end of November.
Right,
So I
Okay, that's good.
already did.
okay. Anything else under old business that I missed that you want to talk about? Okay. Anything under new business?
Yes. And the new business, do you want to start with, and I'll go to Virginia.
Oh. This past week, at the town clerks convention, Virginia was awarded her 25-year pin. And she received, I understand she also received a clock. And the question is, what should we do to recognize our employees that have at least 25 years' experience?
On top of that, the Granite State News called me today and asked about a photo op with the 3 selectmen in Virginia. So, and they would prefer not to do it on a Tuesday.
Tuesdays are a little busy.
So they're looking for like a Thursday or Friday, and if we can all, including Virginia, agree on a time and come and get our pictures taken, they'd like to put a little article in the paper on it.
Okay.
And the other part of what we can do is recognition, we'll have to,
Booklet.
maybe we'll get an old piece of machinery to put in her office, you know, add to her collection.
We go pull that old safe out of the other
She needs
office.
more in her office.
We can pull the old safe out of the town building over there, and the old offices, and bring it over here for her. That'll bring back some memories for her.
I wonder if she remembers the combination.
Ernie Brown sent us some email earlier this year with what he thinks is the combination.
That was for that little safe that we had in
He
there.
doesn't know
He
the
does.
combination.
She said she found it one day,
Jenny
Yes.
found it?
and then she lost it when she was telling me about it, and then I think she might have found it again.
I get it,
It's
but
on
I
a little
don't
piece of
know.
paper.
That's speculation.
I have it, but I don't know where it is now.
If you have
It
any
is-
interest in getting rid of it, you ought to make sure you hold on to that combination, because it's kind of useless without it,
You can change combinations.
not unless you can open it first.
We can get somebody from Concord to help us out in that, in prison.
That's a lost art, we don't do that.
Well, Ernie has tried many times to open that one in there, but he can't get it. That's gotta go to the dump.
Scrap it, that's heavy.
That's not that bad.
It's all the concrete in the bottom.
Not that one in there.
No,
The
not
one
that.
over there.
That one should have concrete, or maybe not concrete,
I don't,
depending what the fire rating is on that one.
I don't have a clue what that is.
What's that little one that we gave?
Yeah.
That's not heavy.
Oh, okay. As far as recognizing somebody after 25 years, I don't think we've ever done it in this town, except for we have highlighted certain people within the town reports for their service to the towns. And usually that's after they've retired from the position, then we thank them and recognize them for their service that way. Yes,
Might be
sir.
nice to at least acknowledge the fact at the town meeting next year.
That would be an idea. So, it's food for thought.
Food for thought.
25 years.
Mine was
How much
right-
time did you put in all your endeavors? Oh, you're still going though, aren't you?
How many jobs?
Yeah, all your different jobs in total years that you've actually, look at this, he's got a list.
I keep a list.
He keeps lists of everything.
He's a list type of
I'm
person.
I'm the employee that's been employed the longest by the town, by the way.
48,
48 different jobs
48 years, man years.
Combined.
combined.
Yeah.
Man, staff years, yeah.
Diana, how long have you
How long
filled
have
your position?
26 years.
Oh,
I was 25 last year.
Oh,
I was
Yes.
recognized by the Town Clerk Association and stuff too. I didn't get a plaque.
I got one for you.
Which he,
I'm sorry, 53.
well, we apologize to you for not recognizing your. So, how are we gonna handle the picture?
Well, depending on the day,
Well, yeah,
and I know they want to do it soon, I'm sure. So, if we do it next week, next Monday or Tuesday, I don't want to do it on Tuesday. Next Monday, she's here.
Not sure, Monday, we'll try for Monday.
is she gonna be here? Because I know one Monday she's,
That was this past Monday.
it was this past Monday she wasn't here? Okay.
You gonna be here for the hazardous aviation thing?
Tuesday night, yes.
Oh, it's Tuesday. What's Monday? You said
Somebody
Monday.
stole our calendar.
Monday.
Well, they said they didn't want to do it on Monday, so today's the
No,
23rd.
they want to do it on.
Yeah, I threw the calendar away, it was last year's. Virginia is here Monday afternoons, that's the point.
Yeah.
If we do it late in the day. I think
29th is Monday.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it all in my head. So Monday the 29th,
Late.
well, she's here
Afternoon.
noon to 8.
I thought you said they didn't want to do it on Monday.
Tuesday,
What date do you have for the hazardous mitigation?
the 30th,
The 30th.
October
Tuesday.
30th at 6 PM.
Okay.
So we do it Monday the 29th.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
He was home at 7. New hours.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7,
Contact
8.
them and see
Okay.
if they can do it around, between 6 and 6:30.
Well, cool. Have to register a car though too, so I'll get you over here.
And if that's not gonna work, let me know and we'll figure something else
Okay.
out. Okay, any other new business? Hearing none.
Any other old business?
No, this was new business. We're in new business now. Where
We
do you
got
go?
old business. We've got a letter there. We have to do something with our mail.
What letter?
We're opening our mail later, and I think there's some action items in there. So either
Okay.
we have to do them earlier.
You would want to be efficient, but this is new mail.
It is new.
It's been a policy that if somebody had an action item that they wanted to put on a certain meeting, that they needed to contact the chairman of the board and request to be put on the agenda.
Okay, so we got some email from Dr. Marsh asking us about the setup. How are we gonna handle that?
The setup of,
The election. He sent us all email. How are we gonna deal with that?
Well, our part's done, we've got everything set up. He's coming Monday
they just
evening.
come in and set up the tables and.
He does?
move the
Well,
chairs.
that's true, we have to move, we have to do the date.
He's asking for someone to communicate with him to tell him, like you did last time, Bill.
Yeah.
But this time you're out of the loop because,
Well, setting up.
Well, he can
tables.
set up.
okay.
You just can't plant little microphones and video cameras, no. So it's on Tuesday.
All we have to do is move the tables and bring out the other this one and bring out.
We
the
could
other.
set them up, we could set it up, no, that's 2 weeks from now, that's not. Yeah, we could do it the Monday night before. That's a planning board meeting. Right? That first Monday, which would be the 5th.
They're big, strong guys, they can move the stuff.
No, not the first Monday, it's the second Monday, so we could do it that Monday night before.
Okay.
Just meet here and just real quick, at this point, this is what takes the longest to set up, and I was waiting for us to move the table. What?
No, I'll tell you, you say how long it takes. You're right.
It takes the longest to put up. They come down pretty quick.
Do you see how much you should have appreciated my husband
So you
when he
can
was
tell him.
moderator and did all that?
Respond.
To,
Dr. Marsh.
yeah, I'll look at his, when I get home, I'll pull up the email, I haven't seen it yet, so. Oh, look, the tax budget, the tax collector's budget. Wow.
I mean, wow, it's no different than it has ever been.
Are you sure? That looks awful high.
Collecting more money.
The only thing
You get
that's
caught,
changed,
right?
the only thing that's changed will be the, cost of certified letters.
You added 40 cents to it.
Hmm?
You added 40 cents to your budget.
I know.
Postage.
And this past year, I didn't use my $500 for my convention. I saved it for you. Makes me stupider, but I saved it. Dumbest of minds.
This is a letter from Diana Peckham, except for if you read the way this was typed, it says Peckham.
Tell my computer, that's not my fault.
It's got a spacing issue
I
there.
know this. Rose knows it too.
I'm
She
gonna
said
check
she's
that.
gonna figure it
I
out.
saw that.
It's a space,
It's
yeah.
always been, and
Spell
I
check.
put it in right, but it has me as two, that's 2 words.
Wow.
Don't give up fighting it.
This is to inform you that my
I
deputy
throw it against the
Rose,
wall.
my deputy Rose Zacher has completed her training as deputy tax collector for the town of Brookfield. I feel confident that she could assume responsibilities of the tax collector in my absence and will be a good asset to myself and the town during busy billing and collecting periods. There are certain procedures and collections that are done yearly. I will be instructing Rose on these when we do these procedures. Okay, that's something you could have handed us during your time up on the tax collector.
That's been sitting there for 2 weeks.
We haven't met.
I know.
Troop 198. This is to the Board of Selectmen from George Pierce of Brookfield, New Hampshire. This letter is to inform you that Jordan Dancero of Troop 198 has achieved the rank of Eagle Scout. We invite you to join us at a ceremony that has been scheduled in his honor on Sunday, November the 11th, 2012, beginning at 4 p.m. at St. Anthony's Church located at 239 Meadow Street in Sanbornville, New Hampshire. If you are not able to attend but are willing to send a certificate of acknowledgement for his achievement, they should be sent to Scoutmaster George Pierce, 23 Roberts Road, Brookfield, New Hampshire, 03872. Thank you for your time and consideration. We look forward to hearing from you. That's why I don't like those little razor things. It cuts the letters in half if you're not careful. Just to let you know
Your
that,
finger can do that too.
just to let you know that Jordan Dancero is a son of a resident of the town of Brookfield. They live over in Cedar Park. And that is pretty awesome for somebody to achieve the rank of Eagle Scout. That's a pretty proud thing for him. So now I'll take it that's what that meant. Okay.
I was
So,
mentioning one of the meetings before.
You already mentioned it.
See, I thought my invitation actually said November 10th at 4 o'clock.
this one
which
says
is
November
Saturday.
11th.
I know.
I
In the
questioned that
newspaper,
date too. I was looking at that. I don't think that
I
was the
have it
date
on
you-
my fridge, because I actually have the invitation from Jordan, so,
In the newspaper, it said the 11th also.
which is Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, I could be wrong.
Well, they meet tomorrow night, and I will stop over and talk to them and get clarification.
Because I know Craig
And say
Evans,
hi to all my old,
they were going to invite the family to come to the supper Saturday night as guests of the Heritage Commission.
that might not be a bad thing, and then we could do a little
To
acknowledgement
acknowledge
right then and there
for
for
the
that.
town, yeah.
Okay. This is a letter from Ron Fountain. Board of Selectmen, Brookfield, New Hampshire, RE Board of Selectmen's minutes 10/9/12 correction. Please be advised that there are two inaccuracies. While discussing legal ramifications of town-sponsored fundraising, Selectmen Camp stated the following: we had planned to do a fundraiser for the Wakefield Library at one point, and Ron Fountain never got back to us with any information on it, so it fell through. Should read Wakefield Food Pantry. I also provided Bill Nelson with that information the very next day. Please correct, thank you. Okay. Board of Selectmen, New Hampshire, Brookfield, New Hampshire Board of Selectmen's meeting, June 26, 2012. Wow. This was dated July 11th, 2012. I've never seen this. Public comments. There will be a yard sale July 1st through July 8th on High Street, where all items were donated and the proceeds will go towards the new building. Please be advised that this should read, there will be an art sale July 1st through July 8th on High Street, where all art is donated and all proceeds will go towards the new building funds. Okay. Please note these corrections in the minutes minutes for this meeting
Just grab a copy of that, yeah. Thank you.
and add that to it. And I don't think I said that there was going to be one scheduled. We were talking about scheduling a fundraiser for it. And Ron was gonna check something for me and get back to me on it. I don't know, I have to go back and look at it, but it was sworn. Anyway. Uh-oh. Time Warner. Cable Committee.
The bill's gonna go up now.
Dear Board of Selectmen, we wrote to you earlier this year about an internal reorganization whereby the cable system operations of Time Warner Cable will be conducted through 7 regional entities designed to simplify management reporting and create a more geographically rational structure. We are pleased to advise that the transaction closed on September 30th, 2012, and Time Warner Cable Northeast LLC now directly owns the cable system in your community and will abide by the terms of all relevant cable franchises subject to applicable law. As explained in prior correspondence, this internal transaction will have absolutely no impact on our cable system, its operations, or our local staff or management. In particular, there will be no change in our commitment to provide our customers with the best variety and quality in the entertainment and information services, all at competitive rates and with excellent customer care. We look forward to continuing to serve our customers in your community. As always, if you have any questions or concerns about this or any other matter, please contact me at rory.whelan@twcable.com or 518-640-8569. Sincerely, Time Warner Cable, Rory Whelan, Regional Vice President, Government Relations. I thought they were gonna, disband channels again like they normally do. State of New Hampshire, Department of Safety. Two state homeland security grants, local points of contact, announcements, FFY 2012 competitive local grant application period. Let's see, these are for preventing, avoiding, or stopping the threat of actual acts of terrorism, protecting our citizens, residents, mitigating loss of life and property by lessening the impact of future disasters. So this would be for our local police department and our hazard mitigation committee, if they need grants to do anything. They do this.
Congrats.
Emergency management, yep. Good idea. Governor Wentworth School District. Their agenda for Monday, October 15th, 2012 meeting. Always a day late and a dollar short. University of New Hampshire, their stuff for learning, extensive, the UNH Cooperative Extension. This is 5 copies announcing this year's forest laws of municipal officials. These workshops are free and combined and inside review of laws and chances to see how they apply on the ground. Selectmen, tax clerks, town clerks, tax collectors, assessors, code enforcement officers, conservation commissions, road agents, forestry committee members, police officers, and other town employees can play a vital role in enforcement of timber laws. This will be a valuable workshop for new town officials and employees, as well as a refresher course for those who have been around for a while. Mr. Nason. Did he leave? I'll put one in his inbox. So if you're interested in going, please do so. Cartographics and Associates. 2013 tax map maintenance proposal for the town of Brookfield, New Hampshire. It's that time of year again, isn't it? Where's the bottom line question? Look at that, $750, it hasn't gone up.
They didn't bill us last year, so they gave us a bill for $1,500 this year.
Mary Lou had asked me about the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted me to call him and find out.
Including 2 each full-size replacement and 1 complete set reduced-size tax map prints. So make sure that when we sign this and we put this into place, that we get our updated 2 full-size ones in our,
They do that every
Small
like
prints.
April, we get new.
so we change them out in that big map book then? Okay. So do you guys want to read this before we sign it? We sign it next week?
Yeah.
We should make sure it's the same thing.
So do you want to pull last year's?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do.
We'll give it to Rich to start. Basic law of budgeting.
Mary Lou returned it.
You want to
We're
be
not all
next?
getting one this time? This isn't the month, oh, okay.
I think that's part of the series. There's 3 books.
Yep, my turn.
Our local government center risk services program reports. Risk pool group, thank you for continuing to allow one or both of the local government center's risk pools, health trust, and property liability trust to provide you with a comprehensive coverage and risk management specifically designed to meet the standards and needs of the New Hampshire public sector. We appreciate your ongoing participation and are pleased to provide you with the information we file annually with the Secretary of State, including each annual audit report, each annual actuarial reserve review report, and each actuarial rating report. In this year's financials, you will see some notable changes. The contracts with Anthem and Northeast Delta Dental changed 2009 to require that health trusts pay 2 months of claim administration, and the contracts terminated. Prior to that time, 2 months of the claim administration was paid to the third-party claims administration each time a group left either health or dental coverage. This change is in contractual terms, changed the way that the actuary computed the claims administration reserve from one of an estimated of the costs to an administrator outstanding claims through payment to one where the liability was 2 months of claims administered reserve based on contractual terms. This change resulted in a reduction of net assets as of December 31st, 2010 of $1,122,925. So if you're interested and you want to read the report, or look at the reports, they are right here. And I think we file these every year. Moosemont Regional Greenways. You're invited to a presentation of the New Lakes Regional Conservation Plan on Thursday, November 8th, 6:30 to 9 p.m. at the Moosemont Recreational Lodge, 107 Moosemont Road, Brookfield, New Hampshire. Cool, they're gonna have it up the mountain. So, save the date, put that over there if you'd like. Local Government Center, 71st Annual Conference. Hey, at the Radisson Hotel in Manchester. Communicating effectively with the media. Court update. So this is for the select persons if they want to go. 2013 State of our Estuary Conference, Friday, December 7th, 2012, Portsmouth Harbor Events Center in downtown Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Safety first. This is about safety equipment. That should go to Mr. Nason. New Hampshire Board of Tax and Land Appeals. Wow. Chairman of the Board, docket 26431, 111 PV, Susan Marquis versus the town of Brookfield.
That could be private.
Tax appeal? No.
Yes.
Yeah. How come we didn't see that before? We've been waiting for this.
Based upon what criteria, that's what you need to.
Non-public session. Does this qualify? Non-public session.
Rationale for it. Okay. When did we get them? Did they just come in? 21st. Gotta be current.
2 days.
2 days ago.
Yeah, we're right into your box, into the selectman box. I've just been looking. Are we going into non-public or no?
Don't know yet.
Mr. Chairman, if we're going to go into non-public, I suggest we take that at the end of the meeting so people can get out of here who want to,
Okay.
if we're going to go into non-public.
Yeah, the rationale for this one is a
Yep.
non-public issue.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's all the mail that is in email that I can see before me. Is there anything else that needs to come before this meeting before I open a non-public, where is it at? I gotta claim it. I have it there somewhere. Oh, it's not on the bottom of this anymore. Can you grab me the book 91, I think it is. 191, is that the right one? Chapters 91. Thank you for coming. We're going to go into non-public. I gotta read the right RSA.
I had a quick announcement.
Okay.
Can I do that now?
Yes, you may.
Last selectmen's meeting, I mentioned that we were going to take a vote November 8th down at the Stratford Regional Planning Commission about the New Hampshire Association of Regional Planning Commission legislative policies. That's been canceled, completely canceled. They're going to move it sometime until February next year. Also, the Granite State Future Agreement open house is also canceled. Although the policy meeting will discuss between the commissioners, and it is a public event, but the open house has been canceled.
This was the one where they were going to come and have like a mini.
Correct. So that's been canceled. So I did email you, Chairman, about the possibility of getting that presentation.
Right, I sent an email back to you.
Didn't get it. Did you go to Ed Comeau at GovernmentOversite.com?
I just replied to the one that you sent me.
Okay, I'll check it again.
Okay, let me know if it's there or not, because that may mean I'm having a problem with my server.
And the other announcement is, I also mentioned 2 weeks ago about the executive order started by Governor Lynch. It's called the Water Sustainability Commission. They're having a very important meeting on the 29th of this month at 11 a.m., 11 to 3. It's a Monday. wanted to know anything about what the Water Sustainability Commission is doing. I don't know if this is the final meeting that they're going to give their recommendations yet, but they will certainly go through the list of the recommendations to protect water quality. That's on the 29th, October, at 11 a.m.
Someplace in Concord, I assume.
Oh, yes, it's, I think it's Hazen Road, the fishing game building.
This is the one where theoretically they could control all the water that anybody,
Well, the commission was formed in order to come up with recommendations to help protect water quality in the state. So they're going to put together all those recommendations, which could be metering of wells and whatever mitigation they can come up with. There's a whole report that they're going to give the governor. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. This board will go, I'll entertain a motion to go into non-public under 91-A:3, 2C, non-public session, which is matters which if discussed in public would likely adversely affect the reputation of a person other than a member of the public body itself, unless such persons request an open meeting, and that has not been done.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we go into non-public session.
I'll second that.
Having a first and a second, any other further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
We need a roll call.
Roll call vote.
Aye.
Bill Nelson?
Aye.
Clifton Camp? Aye. Okay, roll call vote to come out of non-public session. Rich Sacker?
Aye.
Bill Nelson?
Aye.
Clifton Camp? Aye. Non-public, we are forwarding to legal counsel this information. Any other further business to come before the board?
None.
Hearing none, meeting adjourned.